Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where I have a page. This concept deals with how uh, to stop most convenience store robberies and bank robberies. That includes all crimes affiliated with convenience stores and banks, like murders, rapes, kidnappings, and of course robbery. The only way you can really cut down on all of these crimes is to have people monitoring what's happening inside these businesses 24 hours a day, or as long as they're open. Bank, of course, is not open 24 hours, but during business hours, uh, where they can see everything that's going on, particularly with the cashiers, the clerks, and uh, and inside the banks with the tellers. Simply put, they just need to be able to monitor what's going on. And so, if a convenience store is open 24 hours a day, then they will be monitored. They can be monitored for 24 hours a day. And if somebody comes into a convenience store and pulls a gun and says, "I want your money," well, that person that's monitoring that in some city command center, security command center, will be able to notify the police immediately. No 911 calls needed, no alarms needed. It's going to make it. Sometimes these crooks may not even get out of the store before the police arrive, because the police just might be cruising nearby the place of business at the moment. It's going to make it a lot harder because, again, the chances of getting away are a whole lot slimmer, and the police are going to be on you or coming in your direction very quickly. You know, today we just have these security cameras, but all they do is record what happens. But after that, you know, they have to pick up a code trail usually and try to find these people, and they don't always do so. And as every police officer, time is everything. You know, the longer a crime goes unsolved, or the longer it takes to even know it's happened, the harder it is to solve. The only way to do that is for every city in America to set up a security command center with people similar to 911 operators who do nothing but monitor these businesses as long as they're open. The banks close at 5, so basically probably all the people that monitor the banks will probably go home at 5. Convenience stores that decide to stay open 24 hours a day, they can be monitored for 24 hours a day. Some of these convenience stores say, well, we only want to be monitored at night. So they may say, okay, from 7 to 7 in the morning, or 11 to 7 in the morning, you know, when it's more likely a crime is going to be committed because there's less people around. That's the only way you're going to stop it. There is no other way. We get these security cameras that we have now, where we pick up, where police look at it after the crime is committed, don't always bring much result. But if a person comes into a convenience store and tries to kidnap a clerk, tries to take and rape the clerk, and that happens every year, or kidnap them, well, the police may be on the way before this person can even get started. And if a person does come in and rob a convenience store or a bank, they're probably just going to take a little note, push there, "I got a gun, you know, give me the money," or something like that. Thus, you stop a possible murder, rape, or kidnapping. You know, if I'm being robbed, that's how I prefer to do it. Give me a note, I'll give you the money, and I'll be on your way. But it's going to make it almost impossible for for people who rob these places to just come in and shoot somebody and walk out, and take the money and walk out. That is, it's going to be very hard for them to just go in there and kidnap somebody. You know, there's a lot of women that work at these convenience stores get raped, and they're in the middle of the night. It doesn't do much good after the rape, because sometimes they're murdered, sometimes they're kidnapped. And there was one instance where a young girl was kidnapped, taken by some idiot, raped, killed, and then this idiot guy in his 50s, I think it was, put her on a bonfire and burned her to nothing. And when he was arrested, they asked him, "Why'd you do that?" "It just hit me. Just wanted to do it. Just wanted to see what it was like." So he picked some poor little girl out of a convenience store in the middle of the night. She lost her life for nothing. It was nothing. If you have these kind of monitoring systems, and these businesses have to sign up for it, and I do believe that taxpayers should support these, this command center. It'd be just like the police. You know, it's a law enforcement agency. We could stop this, and it's going to make it much, much harder. Again, all the businesses have the freedom to say, "No, we don't want the cameras here." And no, I'm not a big fan of Big Brother. These are just concentrated solely on businesses that want them. If you don't like the cameras, then you just don't go into the convenience store or to that bank. But you have to remember, you're under surveillance anyway. Just like when you go to a casino, you're under surveillance. And if it doesn't bother the casino, it shouldn't bother you there. No, we don't want a big expansion like they have in London or in England altogether, the way their people's privacy is being violated day in, day out. You can't go anywhere without being under surveillance. We don't want that. But what we want to do is put these surveillance cameras where crime is high. And we can stop a lot of this crime, and we can save a lot of people's lives. We can stop a lot of murders, and we can make this job a little bit safer for these people. Unfortunately, convenience store clerks and tellers are considered low lives. They're on the low income scale, and their lives are pretty much expendable to our government. Our government has done almost nothing to stop these crimes. But as I've said in another video before, that one of the ways you can stop a lot of these convenience store crimes, basically, is for convenience stores to take down all those stupid posters they put up there, or advertisements. Better lighting at night, and have 2 clerks at night, and that really cuts down on convenience store crime, because it's a lot easier for a robber, killer, rapist, whatever, to come in and handle one person. But when you have 2 clerks, that makes it a little bit harder, because sometimes you may not know where the other clerk is. One may be in the back room, you're out there robbing somebody, and that person's already calling the police, and you may not even know it. It's just not that, it's just a little bit harder. And better lighting makes it possible for people on the outside to see, and taking those posters down makes it possible to see what's happening if somebody's going by on the outside. It just makes it a little bit more riskier. But a lot of your convenience stores are closed in. You can't see anything. You can't even see the cashier. You can be walking in, if you've never been in there, you may not even know where the cashier's at. Because he or she is just surrounded by advertisements, newspapers, everything that just make it hard to see. You need clear vision from the outside to where the cashier is, so that if something happens, maybe somebody on the outside can see something is wrong. It's just that way. But nonetheless, only until we can do that, only until you can put security cameras that monitor what's going on inside these stores 24 hours a day, or whenever they're open, you're just not going to stop it. It's just going to continue, and it's going to continue, and it's going to continue. And we're just making it easier for the criminal element to continue these kind of crimes. Anyway, if you like the idea, pitch it to your congressional representative, and hopefully one day this will become a reality. I have a feeling it will, because in some areas across America, this is already beginning to happen. And it needs to happen a lot more, so that these convenience store clerks, bank tellers, can go to work and go home alive that night, or that day, or whenever, or that morning. A lot of them don't, unfortunately. But again, our government doesn't consider them pretty much expendable people. Thank you for your